Hello everybody, my name is Kirti Sri Ganapati and today we will be covering the topic computer security and privacy. Let us see. Privacy relates to any rights you have to control your personal information and how it is used. Think about those privacy policies you're asked to read and to agree when you download new smartphone apps. Security, on the other hand, refers to your personal information which is protected. In the next few minutes, we will be learning. Let me just scroll back. Yeah. In the next, we will be seeing why all computer users should be concerned about computer security. We will be seeing some of the risks associated with hardware loss, hardware damage, and system failure. And we will be also understanding the different ways to safeguard a computer against these risks. We will be defining software privacy and digital counterfeiting, and we will explain how they can be prevented. Explain what information privacy is and why computer users should be concerned about it. Finally, we will be describing some privacy concerns regarding databases, electronic profiling, spam, telemarketing, identifying ways individuals can protect their privacy. We will also be discussing several types of electronic surveillance and monitoring. We will list different individuals and protect their privacy. And finally, we'll discuss the status of computer security and privacy legislation. Let's see the overview. This chapter covers hardware loss, hardware damage, and system failure, and the safeguards that can help reduce the risk of a problem occurring due to these concerns. Software privacy and digital counterfeiting, and steps that are being taken to prevent these computer crimes. We will see the possible risks for personal privacy and precautions that can be taken to safeguard one's privacy. And finally, the legislation related to computer security and privacy. Before we begin discussing why should we be concerned about security, let us discuss what is computer security. Computer security, also known as cybersecurity or IT security, is the protection of information system used in the form of theft or damage to the hardware, the software, and the information on them, as well as from disruption or misdirection of the services. It includes controlling the physical access to the hardware, as well as protecting against the harm that may actually come via the network access, data, and the code injection. It could also be due to the malpractice by operators, whether intentional or accidental, or due to people being tricked into deviating from the security procedures. Now, let us see what are the concerns of computer security. Computer security is concerned with four main areas: confidentiality, integrity, availability, and authentication. So what are these? Basically, confidentiality is only the authorized users can access the data, resources, and the information. That's what confidentiality means. Integrity means only the authorized users should be able to modify the data when needed. That is integrity. Availability means whatever the data is stored is available only to the users when needed. And finally, authentication means are you really communicating with who you think are communicating with? So that's what authentication means. Finally, we come to the topic, why should we be concerned about computer security? Prevention of data theft, such as bank account numbers, credit card information, passwords, work-related documents or sheets, All these are essential in today's communication since many of our day to day activities actually depend on the security of these data paths. Data present in a computer can be misused by unauthorized intrusions. An intruder can modify and change the program source code and can also use your pictures or email accounts to create derogatory content such as offensive images, misleading, and offensive social media accounts. So, these malicious intents can also be a factor in computer security. Intruders often use your computers for attacking other computers or websites or network for creating a havoc. Uh, Something like vengeful hackers or the people who wants to take revenge might crash someone's computer and create data loss. Denial of service attacks can be made to prevent access to website by crashing the server. So what is denial of service? It is like when you request an information to a website and the website doesn't respond back. Say suppose a banking website, you want to create a transaction and the transaction doesn't happen. So that is kind of a denial of service attack. So, all these factors, which I just told right now, imply that your data should actually remain safe and confidential. Therefore, it is necessary to protect your computer, and hence, we need computer security. It is also important for your computer's overall health. So, a proper computer security helps prevent viruses and malware, which allows program to run quicker and smoother. So apart from that, there could be loss of important documents, which was discussed, like losing a smartphone which has important contacts and other important data, or buying pirated or counterfeiting products could be one of the security threat. So here, as you can see, the data shown from 2001 to 2019, the damage caused in $1 million. This is not just hundred or $1,000. Everything is in $1 million. So by 2019, there was $3,500 million loss or damage which was caused by the cybercrime. So this is also one of the charts which says these are the countries which are well prepared in terms of cybercrime, and these countries are not so well prepared in when it comes to cybercrime. So hardware loss, hardware damage, and system failure. What is a hardware loss? So, it can occur when a personal computer, a USB flash drive, your mobile device, or any piece of hardware which is stolen, lost, damaged, or it experiences system failure. What is system failure? It doesn't, when you boot up your computer, it doesn't work as expected. So coming to hardware theft, so this is one of the most common type of hardware loss. You keep your smartphone in a public place and that's just lost. So that is a form of hardware theft. So it also occurs when the hardware is stolen from an individual or an organization as a whole. So these are having a loss by the airline companies or shipping companies, the luggage which was lost. So these are some of the common types of hardware losses. So I'm sure you would have all heard of C-level attacks. So these are the attacks which are targeted to the executive level of any organization, say CIOs, CFOs, CEOs. So CFOs, the chief financial officers, are the highest ratio of people where the attackers target. So apart from the hardware theft, there could be hardware damage which cause your data to be lost. It could be due to power fluctuations, or it could be due to extreme heat, dust, static, electricity, water, and not taking care of your computer or mobile device properly. It could be accidental, or someone intentionally could come and damage your software or your hardware. So in this picture, you can see that this is 9/11 attacks, and it killed about 3,000 people and destroyed hundreds of business offices, including critical cables located in this Verizon office. So the it could be, I mean, coming to system failures and other disasters. So a complete malfunction of computer system could be also a hardware problem, software problem, or computer virus. So as already discussed, it could be a natural disaster or a planned attack. So these are the different types of attacks which causes hardware damage. So, how can we protect against hardware loss or hardware damage or system failures? Have you come across any of these devices? So, have you seen any doorbells or computer equipment locks, something like a ring, which is common these days? So, these prevent access to the equipment. This could be, I'm sorry, these are examples where you would have seen cable locks or security slots attached to your computer or laptop. These could be your security cases with, again, a password kind of thing. And software alarm softwares and USB locks for USB flash drives. We will be seeing all these images very soon. So businesses can run social engineering tests to assess the vulnerability of their facility and employees. So, as discussed, the physical locks, which are attached to your laptop or computer. So this prevents the hardware theft or this laptop being stolen. And these are your digital fingerprint enabled door locks. So apart from the password which you set to your laptop or computer through software, these could be the hardware enabled security locks. So the locks could also have a password, having a password enabled. So this is a 4-digit password. So this combination of this cable lock connects the security slot built into the notebook computer. So this is another type of lock which is connected to your tablet. So this is called a security case. So coming to self-healing devices, the way our skin gets regenerated when there's a repair. So that's how a new plastic like this scratch shield regenerates, or it mimics our skin, and it has the ability to repair itself. So there's a special paint that can repair scratches or cuts. So have you come across such scratch shield, or do you own one such scratch shield? So we have discussed that USB has a password enabled system inside this. So this provides the encryption, and apart from protecting your data, it also has a password to even open and check the contents of the flash drive. So the data on this encrypted USB drive cannot be accessed until the user enters the appropriate PIN. So there are full disk encryption as well. So everything on the storage medium is encrypted. The entire, say suppose it has 5 TB of data, everything, all the complete device is encrypted. We also have self-encrypting hard drive. So it is mostly used with the portable computers. I'm sure all of us would have seen such screen. So this is a screen for a device tracking software or anti-theft tool. So it is used to find a computer or a device that is stolen. So did you face any such situation where your laptop, you misplaced your mobile phone somewhere and you had to use a third party or inbuilt find my phone kind of applications? I lost my phone once and I had to use this application to find, and it got me the coordinates where I could go and find if my phone was available. So it sends out the identifying data via internet, provided the mobile phone should be switched on. So law enforcement can also use this data to recover the device. There is something called kill switch, which causes the device to self-destruct. So if you have super high confidential data in your mobile phone, which you don't want anybody else to see that, so there is something called a kill switch, which causes the mobile phone to erase all your data and self-destruct it if you want it. So there is something called uh, tampering the evident labels, which change their appearance if someone tries to remove them. So how does this work? So destructing devices contains a kill switch that can be used to destroy the device or the data stored into it. It could be activated by the customer or by a tracking company upon customer's request, and it is activated when the phone or the device access the internet or when a remote trigger like a logon number of logon attempts, etc., are activated. So such kind of devices may not be that common or frequent for a regular day-to-day person, but government agencies, which has confidential data or healthcare data, all such companies or agencies would be using such devices. And this can be used with some cloud services as well. So, what additional precautions could be taken for mobile users? So, there is something called mobile device management software. So, these could be used by businesses to manage your mobile devices by the employees. So, it also locks down and wipes the data which is lost or stolen. So it displays a message with instructions for returning the device. It displays the current location of the device. And finally, the wireless theta system. So it ties a phone to a key fob in order to sound an alarm, and it locks the phone. And if it's further away than the specified allowable distance. So if you're not within, say, suppose 5 miles or something, 5 miles is just an arbitrary number, so it just locks the phone. So we should always install and use encryption, antivirus, spyware, and firewall softwares. So please do not leave your personal phones and mobile devices unattended. Use cloud services so that the data will not be stored on your devices, and have a password for everything. Disable wireless connections when they are not needed. Disable your location data when it is not needed. Secure your computers with boot passwords. Set your mobile phones to auto log the screen after a short period of time and require a passcode to lock it. If your phone supports fingerprint or iris scanners or face recognition softwares, if it supports such kind of features, please enable them and use it wisely. Use only secure Wi-Fi connection and disable the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth when they are not needed. Never leave your username, passwords, or other data attached to your phone or inside its carrying case. Do not write your password on behind your case and leave it unattended. Use a plain carrying case to make a portable computers less conspicuous. Keep an eye on your device at all times, especially when you're going through security, be it at airport or any other public places. Please install or consider installing a tracking system or kill switch software if you have super high confidential data. So these are the images of protective cases. So these are the rubberized cases on top of a mobile phone or a tablet. So this gives the device from physical security threats, physical damages actually. So these hardware cases do not harm the hardware physically. It is not something related to your software or what is inside the computer uh, digitally, but this gives you a physical protection. So these are three examples where you can see the rugged laptops, rugged tablets, and the mobile phones. So ruggedized devices are available, and it is designed to withstand so much physical abuse than conventional computers. So we should be also using surge suppressors and UPSs. So UPS is uninterruptible power supplies. They provide continuous power to a computer system, and if there's a power outage, it would still it doesn't cause your laptop or computer, to be honest, to be switched off. And please avoid exposing your devices, such as phones or laptops, to dust, moisture, static, and heat. Avoid a head crash, of course. Stop USB devices before removing them. Like, safely remove your USB before you actually eject the USB device. Use screen protectors. So the surge suppressors, which are shown here, would actually, if there is a high voltage or low voltage or any other bad weather conditions, so this would stabilize your power output. And this is how your UPS would look like, or backup UPS. Please do not do this if you do not have a rugged case, or if you do not have any protection. This is just for showing how that rugged laptop could be washed to this extent, so it is that safe and secure. So backups and disaster recovery plans. So they are both used for businesses and individuals. Have you ever backed up the data from your mobile device or laptop devices to cloud, or do you ever have a local backup? Have you ever done that? So basically, backup would be storing at secure remote locations. There could be online backup. So it provides continuous data protection as well, and it acts as a disaster recovery plan. Let us see some of the steps for protecting your PC. Step one is protect your hardware. Have a rugged case if you can find, or if you are not comfortable using such fat, thick ones, or at least have a protective case on top of your laptop and mobile phones. Install a security software, have an antivirus or anti-spyware softwares installed on your laptop and mobile phones. Keep a backup regularly, create backups regularly. I personally create backups almost weekly, twice or thrice. Then that happens at around 2 a.m. So when the laptop and mobile phones are not in use, that's when the laptops are scheduled. Regularly update your operating system, browsers, and email programs, because that's how your security patches come through. So your update is through internet, so that's how your regular security patches also come through. Finally, test your system for vulnerabilities. So these are most of these features are inbuilt in your anti virus softwares, the security softwares which you would have installed. So most of these would also do a testing for vulnerabilities. So did you install any of the antivirus softwares in your PCs or MacBooks? It's time for quiz now. Which of the following would not likely be a reason for stealing a computer notebook? Is it just for the data contained on the computer? Or is it to use for a denial of service attack, or for the value of the computer? So please note, this is not likely to be a reason for stealing a computer. Is it true or false? It is only important to use a surge suppressor during bad weather when a lightning strikes. A copy of a file is created in case the original is damaged, so such process is called as blank. I hope you're ready with the answers. So if we want to create or do a denial of service attack, that's not one of the reasons for stealing a computer notebook. It is false that the surge suppressors are used only during bad weather. So, as we already discussed, it could also be used for having a power fluctuation or voltage fluctuations. So, a copy of a file which is created in case the original is damaged is called a backup. Always have a copy. A backup is basically a copy or a duplicate of whatever is currently working software or the last working application. Moving to software privacy and digital counterfeiting. Do you still remember the difference between privacy privacy and security? So this is software piracy. So software piracy is unauthorized copying of a computer program which occurs during when an individual make illegal copies of the software to give to friends or business or individuals who install software on more than number of computers allowed according to the users. So coming to this particular point where individuals make illegal copies of software to give to friends. So if say an example, person X buys the software giving $100 and he makes an illegal copy of software Y and gives it to his friend. So the friend who uses the illegal copy it's actually illegal process, and person X has pirated the copy. So if there are something called as license agreements which define that the number of users for a particular software which is installed could be just limited, say one. The software is valid or usable only to one person. Say suppose your Microsoft Office, if you buy that, it can be installed only on one laptop. So we should not be using on more than one laptop. Of course, it would be having a key, license key, which won't be valid anymore, but it is also illegal. Sellers who install unlicensed copies of on computers sold to consumers. So if you are buying a new laptop and if it has an unlicensed copy, so that also comes under software piracy. And large-scale operations in which programs and packages are illegally duplicated and sold as supposedly legitimate products. So having a pirated copy, so what does that mean is having a duplicate, illegally duplication is all software piracy deals of. So when it is illegal and when it is duplicate, it comes under, and if it is related to digital or software stuff, it is called software piracy. I'm sure all of us would have seen such screen. Have you ever read the complete contents of it? I encourage you to read it at least once. I agree that it's a big, long, lengthy message, but it's always advisable to read it. So this software can be installed on one primary computer, one additional computer, and two additional devices to be used by a single user. So that's what this statement says. So if you violate any of these rules, you would be doing a software piracy. So coming to digital counterfeiting. So digital counterfeiting is the use of computers or other type of digital equipment to make illegal copies of documents. So these documents could could include this, but not limited to currencies or checks or collectibles like stamps or etc. and if it is often scanned and printed or color copied. So that's how it happens. So you scan, say, suppose $100 note and take a printout of it, you would actually be doing a digital counterfeit. It is illegal in the United States. So protection of such software piracy and digital counterfeiting would be usage of anti-piracy tools, educating businesses and consumers on how to use it, why do we need it, all such stuff. And we would be requiring a unique registration code, or some which is called a product key or license key. Checking the validity of a software installation before upgrades or other resources related to a program can be used. Watching online auction sites and requesting removal of suspicious items, and incorporating code into applications to inform the vendor and pirated copies are being used are in violation of the license. So every 7 to 10 years, the US Treasury Department would be changing the microprinting, watermarks, the security threads, etc. on the currency notes. It could also be using the RFID tags to be used to deter the counterfeiting checks and ID cards. So if you see this particular currency note, $100 currency note, it has microprinting, the security ribbon, the security thread, and color shifting ink. So this particular thing, if you see, it's a color shifting ink, and it also has a watermark. I'm not sure if it is completely visible over here, but I would encourage you to just look at any of the currency note. It need not be $100 note. I want you to go through all these components: the microprinting thing, the security ribbon, the color changing ink, etc. So this would, or at least avoid digital counterfeiting to most of the extent. Time for a quiz now. Using a computer to make illegal copies of currency to circulate as real currency is a form of, is it software privacy, is it computer sabotaging, or is it digital counterfeiting? True or false? Software piracy is rarely performed today. The use of computers and other type of digital equipment to make illegal copies of currencies, checks, collectibles, and other items is known as blank. If you see, these two are kind of interrelated. I hope you're ready with the answers. So the usage of, the act of making illegal copies of currency to circulate as real currency is a form of digital counterfeiting, which we already saw right now. Software piracy is rarely performed today. False. It is very much possible that software piracy can take place very frequently and often. The use of computers and other type of digital equipment, which we already saw here, is an example, or it is known as digital counterfeiting. That's all from my side. Thank you.